Today we're back on my horse chestnut, which is probably the worst tree you could use for bonsai, but it's fun and it's interesting to see what it does, and you can see here it's growing well. Now I'm going to give it a light prune, which is just removing this one strong shoot at the top. When you look at these trees in nature, they're huge, so it's no surprise that they want to grow long straight sections. But that's everything I don't want from a tree, so hopefully this little prune will calm it down. It's not much change in August. It's ugly, but it's happy enough. Weirdly, for some reason, the first video in this series that was about this tree was flagged up by YouTube. It was made age restricted. I'm not quite sure what was in that video that was of adult nature, but I appealed it and it was undone. All very strange, but anyway, there's not a lot happening in September, and I imagine it'll be slowing right down now to get ready for winter. In October, you can see the leaves are starting to change colour. You never really get a good display with them. It is kind of dry up. Some of these do get a nice colour, but they never all change at once. If I bring you in close, you can see there are some mushrooms growing in the pot. I always find that fascinating to look at. It's just very cool, like a little mini forest floor. In November it's fully dormant and you can really see how awful the structure is. Plenty of long, boring straight parts, but that's just the way it is. In February I was going to prune it, but there's nothing that can really be pruned. I guess I could have reduced the long boring parts, but there's no real buds lower down, so there's nothing really cut back to. I'll just be chopping it and hoping something would grow, which it would, and I'll probably do that at some point, but for now I just left it alone. Then of course in April it woke up super fast. Well, it did also rain a lot, so I couldn't get outside, which didn't help. But anyway, we now have this tree that's pretty much awake, and I would like to repot it. That came out way too easily. But I've got quite the dilemma here. The root ball doesn't look too bad, but there's quite a lot of roots in the bottom. So I'm going to sort of semi-repot it, which is really just me being lazy, as I could have probably got away with doing it properly. The leaves are open, but it's only been a day or two, so it should probably be okay. My plan here is just going to rake out the bottom half and then chop that off, which should free up some space, while also not being too aggressive with the roots. Well, it's pretty aggressive, but it would have been a lot worse if I'd actually done things properly. So I'll just call this a half repot. You'll see here I cut the bottom half off. This tree is actually a decent root ball. It has a nice flare and it's flat, so I know I'm not really cutting anything important here. Just removing the long stuff really. I think this is better than leaving it for another year. These trees grow like weeds, so I don't think I'll be too upset. I'll just give it one last tickle to make sure everything's nice and loose in there, and then pot it up, which really means just placing a root ball on a pile of soil. So a very lazy repot, but I think it'll be fine. And then next year I'll have to do it properly and also do it before it goes into leaf. In May it's looking pretty happy so far. And here we are now. It's looking like it's doing pretty well. I'll probably need to prune it again soon. Thanks for watching, see you next time.